The most necessary task of civilization is to teach people how to think. It should be the primary purpose of our public schools. The mind of a child is naturally active, it develops through exercise. Give a child plenty of exercise, for body and brain. The trouble with our way of educating is that it does not give elasticity to the mind. It casts the brain into a mold. It insists that the child must accept. It does not encourage original thought or reasoning, and it lays more stress on memory than observation. We are like tenant farmers chopping down the fence around our house for fuel when we should be using nature's inexhaustible sources of energy: sun, wind and tide. I'd put my money on the sun and solar energy. What a source of power! I hope we don't have to wait until oil and coal run out before we tackle that. Nature is what we know. We do not know the gods of religions. And nature is not kind, or merciful, or loving. If God made me the fabled God of the three qualities of which I spoke, mercy, kindness, love, he also made the fish I catch and eat. And where do his mercy, kindness, and love for that fish come in? No, nature made us, nature did it all, not the gods of the religions. As Edison is credited with saying, opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. We all want to be successful, but most of us aren't willing to do what those who are successful did to attain it. We want success without sacrifice, but you can't have one without the other. I have always regarded Paine as one of the greatest of all Americans. Never have we had a sounder intelligence in this republic. It was my good fortune to encounter Thomas Paine's works in my boyhood. It was, indeed, a revelation to me to read that great thinker's views on political and theological subjects. Paine educated me, then, about many matters of which I had never before thought. I remember, very vividly, the flash of enlightenment that shone from Paine's writings, and I recall thinking, at that time, what a pity these works are not today the school books for all children. My interest in Paine was not satisfied by my first reading of his works. I went back to them time and again, just as I have done since my boyhood days. I told John Cruasy I was going to record talking, and then have the machine talk back. He thought it absurd. However, it was finished, the foil was put on, I then shouted "Mary had a little lamb," etc. I adjusted the reproducer, and the machine reproduced it perfectly. Being busy does not always mean real work. The object of all work is production or accomplishment, and to either of these ends there must be forethought, system, planning, intelligence, and honest purpose, as well as perspiration. Seeming to do is not doing. There is no expedient to which a man will not go to avoid the real labor of thinking. Nearly every person who develops an idea works at it up to the point where it looks impossible, and then gets discouraged. That's not the place to become discouraged. People who will not turn a shovel full of dirt on the project nor contribute a pound of material, will collect more money from the United States than will the people who supply all the material and do all the work. This is the terrible thing about interest, but here is the point: if the nation can issue a dollar bond, it can issue a dollar bill. The element that makes the bond good makes the bill good also. When Theodore Roosevelt termed Tom Paine a dirty little atheist, he surely spoke from lack of understanding. It was a stricture, an inaccurate charge of the sort that has dimmed the greatness of this eminent American. But the true measure of his stature will yet be appreciated. The torch which he handed on will not be extinguished. If Paine had ceased his writings with the Rights of Man, he would have been hailed today as one of the 2 or 3 outstanding figures of the Revolution. But the Age of Reason cost him glory at the hands of his countrymen, a greater loss to them than to Tom Paine. Nature is what we know. We do not know the gods of religions. And nature is not kind, or merciful, or loving. If God made me the fabled God of the 3 qualities of which I spoke, mercy, kindness, love, he also made the fish I catch and eat. And where do his mercy, kindness, and love for that fish come in? No, nature made us, nature did it all, not the gods of the religions. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. What I have denied and what my reason compels me to deny, is the existence of a being throned above us as a God, directing our mundane affairs in detail, regarding us as individuals, punishing us, rewarding us as human judges might. When the churches learn to take this rational view of things, when they become true schools of ethics and stop teaching fables, they will be more effective than they are today. If they would turn all that ability to teaching this one thing, the fact that honesty is best, that selfishness and lies of any sort must surely fail to produce happiness, they would accomplish actual things. Religious faiths and creeds have greatly hampered our development. They have absorbed and wasted some fine intellects.